It's The Lunch Show with Chad Summers. Fasten your seatbelts for the greatest radio show in the world, ever. And now, the host of The Lunch Show, Chad Summers.
All right. Welcome to The Lunch Show, everybody. I'm your host, Chad Summers. Today is July 28th, 2023. I hope you all are having a good Friday. So far, so good on my end. Before we get to the birthdays, I just want to say you can always email me at chadslunchshow@gmail.com. Got new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Don't miss those. Don't be oblivious. It's kind of embarrassing when you don't know what's going on when you're hanging out with your buds. And click on all the things that make the show happen. For some people, they go to thelunchshow.com and they don't, they're looking for somewhere to subscribe, and that you actually need to go to YouTube to subscribe and share and thumbs up and all those good things. So yes, do that, please. All right, let's get into the show. For the birthdays, we have none worth mentioning. That's right. Typically, we only wish happy birthdays to individuals that, they do something cool. They do something great. And, obviously there's, if you do your research, you're going to find a lot of social media like TikTokers and Instagrammers. And, those people, a lot of them, they're idiots. Sorry, they're just idiots, and we don't recognize them as, celebrities for the most part. So yeah, first time in lunch show history, we have no birthdays worth mentioning. So we will move on to, also on this day in history, in 1914, World War I began. In 1991, Spanish cyclist Miguel Indurain or something like that won his first of 5 consecutive Tour of France titles. And yes, I said Tour of France. In 1976, an earthquake in Tangshan, China, killed more than 240,000 people. Goodness gracious. That's disturbing. We have, whenever we have a natural disaster that kills 30, 40 people, it's devastating. And it is. It's devastating. But this really, puts it into perspective how bad. I mean, it says more than 240,000 people. Goodness, I just can't even fathom that happening in this day and age in the United States. Unbelievable. World Trade Center was not a natural disaster. However, it was a disaster, and we lost over 3,000, and that was just ridiculously awful. So I can't imagine how bad that was back in 76 in China. Wow. 1929, Jackie Kennedy Onassis was born in Southampton, New York. All right, let's get into the news. This one from Fox Business. Demand for skilled workers on the rise. Well, I don't think that's shocking to anyone. This is the workers' market. There's no excuse for not being employed if you are healthy and physically fit, or not physically fit but very intelligent and capable of doing office work. There's just opportunities all over the place. I know business owners personally that before COVID, they had, one guy said he had a crew of 16 people, and now it's 4 people. Or a year ago, post-COVID, he said it was 4 people. He may have built it up a little bit since, but yeah, there's work out there. Get off your couch, put the game remote down, the controller down, and go work. I really don't want to pay for you. And no one else does either. All right. Here's one from Fox News as well. North Carolina tourist town weighing options to crack down on growing panhandling as tourism drops. Oh, God. Tourism is down. Actually, we have a subtitle here. Tourism in Asheville, North Carolina is reportedly down 11% compared to recent years. Yeah, I would say compared to pre-BLM years. So the town has gotten rid of 100 police officers. And now, from what I'm hearing, it's basically like the Portland, Oregon of North Carolina. So not the greatest place. It's a beautiful town, absolutely beautiful mountain town, and now it's Portland. Yeah, that's great. That's just great. Let's defund the police. That's working real well. All right, we got one from Newsmax. South Florida water hit hot tub level of 101 degrees. Yeah, that's pretty hot. That really is hot tub temperatures. Can you when you get in a hot tub, you feel that burn? Can you imagine just jumping off a boat or just going for a swim off the shore? They don't really have beaches down the Keys. They got man-made beaches, but they don't really have sandy beaches. But can you imagine just going for a swim and feeling like a hot tub? That's crazy. A buoy at the Manatee Bay recorded 101.1 degrees Fahrenheit Monday evening. Now, the problem with this, I guess, is it's causing coral bleaching. Now, I thought that meant corals reefs dying and stuff like that, but apparently that doesn't mean they die, but they go into a bleaching phase where they turn white. So that's not good. What we can do about it, I don't know, but that is interesting. So much for jumping in the water to cool off down in the Keys this time of year. All right, we've got one from the Washington Post. Mitch McConnell back to work after freeze up, offers no health updates. I saw a video of this. He was giving a speech at a news conference on Wednesday, and mid-sentence, he just stopped and was like a deer in headlights. I've never quite seen anything like that. I've seen someone lose their train of thought in the middle of a speech or a sentence, but not just like, I don't even know if he was blinking. I don't know if he even blinked. It was really bizarre, and they had to pull him off to the side. I don't know how long he would have done that had they not pulled him off to the side. But this starts the debate on term. They're talking about term limits. I was watching on the news. I think it's more of an age limit issue as opposed to term limits. However, I'm all for both term limits and age limits. So, yeah, we have to do something about that. The problem is the people that would vote on that don't want to vote themselves out of their job. And quite frankly, it's not supposed to be their job. It's supposed to be their, it's supposed to be their second job. Not even job, but just an honor, like to serve the country. Back when this country was founded, the politicians, they were supposed to be, they were supposed to be career people in other fields, doctors, lawyers, etc., and then they would serve for a short duration, but now it's becoming a career thing, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So yeah, that needs to be addressed for sure. All right, we got one from Fox News. Eagles founding member Randy Meisner dead at 77. All right, he wrote "Take It to the Limit." He left the band after an argument with Glenn Frey backstage at a concert in Knoxville, Tennessee, I believe back in the 70s, maybe early 80s. Says he chose his sanity over the high-speed lifestyle of touring. I just want to add to this that the Eagles' Greatest Hits album is the top-selling rock and roll album of all time, which is quite the achievement. And they did not report on what his cause of death was. So, yeah, my condolences go to his family. That's sad stuff, but, at 77, that's a good life. It's a good life. He, I think he probably wouldn't have changed it. All right, here's one from USA Today. Anheuser-Busch layoff, after Bud Light sales dipped. I think that's putting it lightly. Company cuts hundreds of jobs. They say in this article 380 people fired. I saw in another article that they shut down 2 factories and fired 700 people. I don't recall where I read that one, but, that is a historic fail for a American corporation. It's just unbelievable to me. We've got one here from Fox News. Singapore hangs first woman in 19 years following conviction for trafficking heroin. We've got a subtitle. Sari Dual, I don't know. Jamani, 45, was sentenced to death for trafficking nearly 31 grams of pure heroin. They don't play around in Singapore, apparently, when it comes to drug dealing. I think that's pretty stiff penalty. We don't do that here. We don't have capital punishment for drug dealing. However, I do believe in it for obviously red rum. And I honestly believe in it for certain cases of physical attacks where the victim is maimed or physically altered for the rest of their lives, blindness. It just depends, case by case. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Hanged, not just lethal shots, but hanged. I mean, it's pretty heavy. Got a story from Reuters. Norway, Finland battle rapid spread of bird flu. After this pandemic, that's kind of alarming. You mention terms like that, bird flu. I mean, I remember 10, 15 years ago them talking about how that could lead into a pandemic. I'm going to read a little bit on this article here. Copenhagen, July 28th. Norway and Finland face record outbreaks of bird flu this year, which have killed thousands of seagulls and other species. That sucks. I love seagulls. Put livestock at risk and restricted travel in some areas, officials said. Avian influenza, commonly called bird flu, has circulated throughout Europe in recent years, leading to a cull in May and June of millions of birds on French farms alone and affecting the supply of poultry, meat, and eggs. Yeah, that's not good. The worries are that can, what's the word? I don't know. It can turn into something that can be passed on to humans. So that's the major concern. And I'm sure the food supply, obviously. So not good. If you want to read about that, go to Reuters. All right, we got one from Newsmax. Sinead O'Connor was found dead at London home, the police reports. Yeah, that's probably not news to you. There's still no cause of death reported. However, she was diagnosed bipolar in 2002. So, on average, people with bipolar live 10 years less than the average person. But that still puts her passing early compared to the average life expectancy of a woman. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to hearing what the cause of death was for Sinead O'Connor, and we will report that once we find out. We've got a story from CBS News. MasterCard to no longer allow marijuana transactions on its debit cards. Did you hear me clearly? Debit. I wonder why they say debit/credit cards. I think that might be because they earn interest. They charge interest on the credit cards. So we'll look into that, see what the deal is, see if you can use MasterCard credit cards to buy some Mary Jane. So for now, if you're going to your dispensary, you might want to take your Discover card. This is good for Discover, isn't it? All right, folks, that leaves us with one more story. And if you're new to the show, that means it's good news, because that's how we always leave you on the lunch show. We leave you with good news. But before we do that, I just want to say you can always email me at chadslunchshow@gmail.com. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Don't miss those. And click subscribe on YouTube or wherever you're listening to the show. We need all the help we can get. We're going to grow this show to be enormous, and we want you to be a part of it in the beginning. So, all right, let's get into the good news story. The first cargo ship running on green methanol weighs anchor amidst merchant shipping decarbonization. I'm going to read a little bit into this article here. Global merchant shipping leader Maersk is launching a biomethanol-powered container ship this week as part of its fast-track decarbonization strategy. Producing about the same emissions globally as the airline industry, merchant shipping is experimenting with several ways of cutting back emissions, including through the use of methanol gas, ammonia, and hydrogen. While these fuels are anywhere between 200% and 400% more expensive than conventional fuel because of the massive amounts of cargo the ships are capable of carrying, a pair of shoes might only accrue a related cost increase of 5 cents. So they're saying they're going to pass the cost on to the consumer, but they're also claiming that it would not be very noticeable, maybe 5 cents per pair of shoes. Now, I'm personally skeptical on the climate rise thing or whatever. But, if these shipping companies want to take it upon themselves to go with a cleaner mode of energy, that's fine. It's just this talk of mandating all automobiles to be electric powered in 10 years is just ridiculous. I mean, that's, we can't force that kind of change upon the people that quickly. It's just reckless, and it could ruin quite possibly the world economy. So, yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, I do think we need to clean up our air quality, regardless of whether we have temperature rising. I don't want to. We don't need to choke ourselves out. So, yeah, let's clean up the air. That can't hurt. All right, folks, I'm going to call that the episode. Until our Tuesday episode, keep pressing on in your life, and peace out.
All right, folks, that's it for the lunch show today.
Don't forget to come back every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. And don't forget to like, share, tweet, subscribe, friend, listen, email, and tell your friends and family about us. We need every single one of y'all. Thank you in advance for your support, and I hope you all have an awesome day.
You just listened to The Lunch Show.